Hello, everyone. Welcome to the table. Welcome to the grown folks table. We're so glad that you're pulling up and having a seat with us tonight. Are you all ready for some grown folks conversation?
Yes,
Yeah.
do it.
Well, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is Elisha B. Cash, and I am the founder and president of the National Women's Empowerment Ministry.
Hi, I'm Joyce Littell. I am the brand manager of News and Talk 1380 WAOK and Quiet Storm host on V103 in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, and I am Dolores Grizzle, the immediate past chapter president of the 100 Black Women Decatur DeKalb chapter.
And I'm Vicki B. Turner. I have the privilege of serving on the Board of Education in DeKalb County. Don't throw no stones tonight. And my husband and I have an initiative in DeKalb called DeKalb Cultural Exchange.
And I am Becky A. Davis, also known as the Chief Bosspreneur. I'm the founder of the Bosspreneur Business Circle and the founder of I Support Her, Inc., a nonprofit that focuses on helping Black women entrepreneurs obtain funding, capital, and resources.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Olivia Bay Carr. I am an assistant pastor at Trinity AME Church. I also am the founder of an annual Girlfriends Brunch that we have every New Year's Day. Also am founder and owner of Sugar Plum Events, an event planning facility in Jonesboro, Georgia. Just a woman of many hats. Hey. And a baker. Hallelujah.
Well, tonight we're pulling up to the table to talk about so many wonderful topics. And the first thing we're wanting to talk about is relationships. Tell me, because all of us are married with the exception of Libya. So I'm going to direct this question to her just to kind of spin it off a little bit. Libya, what has dating been like for you in this whole quarantine, COVID-19 situation?
Well, you probably shouldn't put it to me. Let's put it to the single folks.
What's that shimmy? What's that shimmy she got going?
I'm so afraid.
Dating in this quarantine COVID-19 season has been interesting. Not that I'm dating, but just to let you know, it's very interesting. I have a lot of single friends, and we talk about how interesting enough we're all getting random inboxes and messages and people who we haven't talked to for a while that's texting us from years we hadn't talked to them, and just people are just in this pandemic, and folk are just getting thirsty, honey, and so they just, they want the whole thing back. It's just
Did she say getting thirsty?
Well, I figured as much with everyone social distancing, and it's so few outlets for people to kind of engage in things and events to go to versus concerts. And, we have been very restricted, and the single people have been even more restricted if social gatherings is normally where, you meet somebody new, you trade out this season for the new, come on.
Yes,
we've been out there before. I can only imagine that these, the pickings are real slim now.
Listen
even
here.
from social media, even from dating apps,
Yes. The thing is, I do think that there is some pluses and some minuses in this whole thing. There are those, persons who have taken this time to explore themselves, to in singleness, to be able to write books, to be able to get platforms where they're speaking and talking about, how do you deal with the singleness and being in this pandemic where you don't have the opportunity to go out to all these different events. You're not hanging out. You're not doing things with your girlfriends that you would normally do. So I think it's an opportune time for a lot of different things, but it is for a lot of people a very lonely time because, you don't have a significant other. You can't go out and meet people. And really, you don't know about getting on a dating app because can you go meet somebody and what you going to ask them to take a COVID test? I mean, what you going to
That's the new question when you date. Have you had the
Look, show me your papers. I need your papers.
We need to see the results.
I need your papers. Then we can talk about maybe, send out some food. Papers, I need to see them.
Well, for those of you that are watching and you're single, I mean, drop something in the chat for us. Tell us what you're doing to date. What I have seen is, where people may have been cohabitating or cohabiting or,
living together. I go on to say it. Cohabitate. They living together. It's fine. Go ahead, do y'all what y'all do.
Well, and what we're starting to see is maybe those persons are deciding, let's go ahead and tie the knot. Are you guys starting to get more invitations to weddings of people that have been shacking up or living together?
That'll be a no.
No.
I haven't gotten an invitation, but I know a lot of people who got married. I know a lot of people who are, getting proposals.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that. I mean, if you're on social media, you've seen it, I'm sure. So a lot of people they are getting proposed to. So you do see a lot of people are realizing, okay, I don't know if this ain't life is short, honey. Folk falling dead, cold. I don't know what else. So you know what? And then I go in the hospital, can't nobody coming in. Let me just go ahead and lock down my situation because I don't know. So people are getting these rings that been with folk for 6, 7 years, 4, 5 years, and honey, it's just happening for them. So what has been good to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it has.
What you say? COVID and brought the rings out.
COVID has strengthened in relationships. Where else you going? So it's just been an opportunity for you to either see where this is, how strong it is, or it's an opportunity to back away from it. From what I've read from surveys and things like that, I've seen it on both sides. Like it's strengthened relationships to want it to go to the altar, or it's like deuces. I really have gotten
I can't stand you. Yeah, I know I can't stand you.
And you're not about to infect me. You're not.
What about courting? Do you even in your, have they brought back courting? I mean, with the pop-up picnics and the, park walks and the holding hands with the mask on. Are we romanticizing here and bringing back some real old-fashioned dating moves?
You had to. I mean, when you've been locked up, even in a marital situation, when you've been in the home with someone for 5 months straight, I mean, not being able to leave, your creativity had to take it up to a whole other level. We had to become like Dolores up in this. I started. What would you do?
Dolores has been
in single and marital relationships, you had to become more creative because you can't go nowhere.
I agree. I agree with Joy. And I was, it's been a long time. And when we started this, at the beginning of the pandemic, I saw it as an opportunity. I really did, to have quality time, to, play footsies, bed, watch a movie. I did. I enjoy all of those things, breakfast, late morning breakfast. But I don't know about y'all. I'm just going to be true.
But come on with it.
It's getting on my nerves a little bit. I want to go for a massage, and I've not ventured back out into that arena yet.
Yes.
And so, I try to bribe my husband, can you, anoint those hands to rub without any motives or intention. Give me a little, rub on the stress. But I'm with that trying to be creative. I think this is how I kind of look at it, all seriousness. For those of us that have been doing this a while, and if you've been in a relationship, hopefully you've laid up treasures. That you've done some wonderful things, and you can draw from those memories. And I do count myself in that group where when we could travel, we did travel, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful trip, and now we can go back and look at the pictures, the photos. But it's getting stressed a little bit. It really is for me, because I want, for lack of a better word, I want to be free to go.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel very inhibited, and so sometimes that'll mess with your mood.
Yes.
And so, God bless, my husband who endures. It's a little challenge. And it's a little challenge.
What about
yeah?
I remember you kicked off. You and your husband was booed up in the backyard with the big screen watching movies, and we was trying to come over.
We ain't been in that backyard in a month with no nothing. Sure, we ain't been in that backyard, and he'll be downstairs watching something, and I'll go and look and be like, "What is this?" I'm not gonna watch it. So I go upstairs and I watch something else. And then when it's time to get into bed, then we end up coming back together. It's like we got to find something that we like together so we can watch it. And then we'll find something we like. And then that joker, I could be working and he'll start watching the series without me. Now you don't want to head of me. Now, why didn't you wait for me? You do series. So he does go to work sometimes. So there are times when he do go into the office, and when he goes into the office, I wake up and I'm like,
yes.
to myself.
Realize. Thank God.
Oh man, yes.
Listen,
Well,
it's
everybody
rough.
can be like the Grizzles over there.
Ain't nobody like the Grizzles. No.
Hey, look at her, she laying back like this.
Becky, you wrong.
You probably over there writing plays.
with the mask on.
With the mask on.
With the mask on.
They're making that mandatory,
I did see that, Dolores.
You said that, Alicia.
Yes, they are making it mandatory for couples, when you're engaging in your loving activities, to mask up, and Dolores started out training us that way.
Listen,
Day one.
From
when
day
the heat is on, ain't nobody getting no mad.
We were just trying to get through the times. We were just trying to make it through it. But I would tell you now, I'm so glad they brought sports back, because we love sports. We love sports. And I tell you right now, I told them tape everything, because the NBA is on, football is on tonight, tennis on. I love Serena. So I said, do not watch anything till I come downstairs. We love. So I'm just so glad that we love so many things. That he doesn't have things that I just don't enjoy, but we enjoy the same thing. So I think that helps us. That makes it work. And we just grew together. We kind of just grew up as adults together, and we just love, I think, each other and what each other is about, and supporting each other. So we made it through, and I think our grandkids, because we're just kind of a little small team, my grandchildren, my daughter, and the husband, and we're just a little small team. And so we just kind of were in our own little bubble this whole time. So we didn't branch out with other family members. So we did a lot of things. And my daughter, she's very creative. So she always the one who always planning something for us to do. Whether we'll say, well, we don't want to do it. Before we know it, she's paid for it, you're going. And then we know we're all in the car and we're on the way. And so but she's the one who has been getting us out, say, hey, it's okay to go to restaurants. Because when I saw Becky at the restaurant, I was laughing, because I remember when I was going to venture out too. And so I think it for us, and then also when you was at the gym, it's baby steps. And once you do begin to get out there, and then you can find that we got to think about safety and all those things. And when you were talking about how you were cleaning it, because I'm that way too when I go to the gym. And I love, because they have done a great job with social distancing, so many machines you can't use close to. I tell you, I dare someone, there's a girl actually came to the one next to me, and I was like, and why are you standing over here by me? You're not 6 feet apart. I know she thought I was insane, but they had a note on the machine.
Right.
So,
you're still going to have these encounters with people. And I hate that, because I'm one of those, I have to say something. I can't just have my mouth closed. If you're doing wrong, I got to say something about it. But I have enjoyed it because we love the gym. He makes me go, and I just laugh at Becky because I tell you, if I didn't have somebody pushing me, make me to go, I will not go. And he really makes me go. He makes me get out the house and go. And I love it once I get there, you know, and it's over and I did it. It's just trying to leave the house. I know you all won't believe, but I am a homebody. And I love being in the house. I could stay at home all week, really. So the COVID didn't bother me that much because I love being at home, actually.
So for those of you that are watching, we are challenging ourselves to get out and exercise, you know. And Becky put a post out there with her on the treadmill and her So we're redefining a whole lot of things as women during this pandemic.
and as couples. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of redefining as couples when you are home, you know, with each other the whole time. You got children that you're doing virtual school with. I mean, it's a huge adjustment for a lot of people, and it's the test of patience for a lot of marriages. Let me tell you that it is a test of patience for a lot of folk. And in all seriousness, you have a lot of people who aren't in that situation when they have someone, and they're going through all kinds of depression. People are really, really having a hard time dealing with that, not having that, you know, that touch or that engagement with people. So I think, you know, from my standpoint, I say this all the time to people who are single, who are not single. I always say that I'm a different kind of single because there's a lot part of me that actually enjoys being single, and I don't meet many single women that feel that way. Most of them, you know, desire marriage, want to get married, waiting to get married, and you know, they go on their first date and they're looking at him like, let me see if he's the husband. Let me see. Whereas I'm on the date saying, this is some good fish, honey. This steak looking good, and nice. I feel like I look good today. My hair is straight. It ain't looking crazy. You know, hey, I'm in there having a good time, and then I'm leaving you saying, well, we need to do this again. Wait a minute. Again, I said this was nice right here, but I'm just saying there's some people that they can't handle that. But you know, it's a challenge out there. I mean, I get some stories, honey. When I tell you I get some stories. Jesus. And
I can only imagine even during the whole pandemic, people are really, especially if you're single, really wanting to latch out and connect with people. You know, God forbid if I was having to go on a first date right now, you know, I'd probably be one of the ones be trying to snatch folks up.
You know, it was really difficult. Like I went to the restaurant and I went to the gym in a 5-month time frame to both of them. So I was really nervous and scared, and you know, got into the restaurant. I was like, okay, they are doing a good job of kind of managing things. So that just kind of brought some anxiety down. And then when I went into the gym, because I was like, my daughter had been going, I was like, girl, you crazy? I ain't going in there. And then finally, when I got mad at the mirror and forget you, mirror, then I said, okay, I'm gonna go. And so I go in, I told my husband, because I was like, cancel it, just cancel membership. And he was like, well, I said, I'm not going back in there. And then I said, I tell you what, I'll go in there, I'll check it out. And depending on how I feel, I'll either cancel it when I get home. And he was like, okay, well, you go check it out. So when I went to the gym and saw that they had put in all of the precautions in place, and staff was definitely doing what they need to do. Dolores, you're right. It's always somebody that won't take care of. I mean, you're already supposed to clean the machine down. I went in there and I usually would spray the stuff on a thing, wipe the machine down. I got the sprayer and I sprayed the machine down. Then I wiped it down. I'm looking at this man, two paces in front of me, and he gets on a weight machine. He sits down. I was like, he didn't even clean that off. He don't know who was on that last. And then when he finished, he got up, went to the next one. I said, that's why he ain't cleaned it off, because he ain't gonna clean it off. I was like, that's why you spray it all down. And once I sprayed it all down, I went and got sanitizer, because they got that all over the gym. I went and got the sanitizer. I kept my mask on the time. And then when I left, I washed my hands, sanitized, got in the car, and sanitized one more time, came home, took everything off, went, took a shower. And I was like, okay, I guess that's going to be what my routine looks like. But it wasn't a lot of people in there. Yeah. But I did it.
And you get used to doing that when you go. Yeah, it just become a habit.
We're accepting all kind of new norms. You know, all kind of dramatic things are happening. And so that even brings me to our next conversation piece, because I'm trying to figure out if this is the season and the time for us to accept the new norm of image with women, you know. So I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with, is it WAP or do we say WAP?
Oh my God.
WAP.
Yes, WAP, child.
Wow.
WAP
W with a dot,
WA.P.
W.A.P.
Yeah.
Does WAP set women back or does it offer female empowerment? I want everybody to weigh in on this, because let me tell you, I'm not gonna keep it. Me and Libya are at odds on this one. I'm not in agreement.
I can't wait to hear this.
And so before I share anything, I just want to know, tell me, what do y'all think about, you know, Cardi B and what's the other lady name?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee
Stallion.
Okay, y'all are familiar. Tell me, what do y'all think about? Did y'all see the
From the
video?
youngest one in the group. Go
You
ahead.
know what? I'm familiar with it because I have a 9-year-old who loves to listen to Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. And the thing is, what saddens me about it is because you have all ages watching her and listening to her, although they may not comprehend what she's really saying. You know, although we comprehend what she's saying and know what she's saying. So that's the part that really saddens me, because when we think about these children that are virtually at home, so they have access to the computers, they can get on the internet, YouTube, all that, so they can see all those things. But so that part saddens me. It's two things. I'm sure in their minds, because they're very young, they feel that male rappers been doing it for forever. Why can't they? But I'm just from the old school. It's not some way I was raised. When I grew up, we couldn't even wear our dresses above our knees. We couldn't even walk into a church with pants on. So I'm just kind of old school. That is something I think that is just crossing the line. And when you begin to cross the line, there's no coming back from that. And I think what she has done, I like her as a person, but I think with this one here, and there is another version. I don't know if you all have seen, there's another version. And it's funny, the kids would say, oh, this is not explicit. But the other one, I don't know if you all have seen it, but it is. I don't even know what to say about her, and Megan, but I just think for the younger kids, I'm saddened because all parents can't censor what these children are watching and catching, but they are seeing it and they have seen it.
So let me ask you this, is there a difference in being sexy and downright degrading? Okay.
Yeah, that's a difference. That's a difference. Now we are women. We grew up
being taught. That's I think that's the problem is what was said to us, and who said it to us. And a lot of these, I think about myself and having the mother that I have, thank God. I think about the conversation that we never had, we never had as mother-daughter because of what we thought talking on that subject matter would be like. And I think that's the problem that we have had as a culture of people, is that we have to be more open and have more conversation with, young women or men, just in general. But let's talk about women and have these conversations. If you're raising a daughter, and talk about sex and talk about, the language and some of these things, and then it won't be, I think, to the ear and to the eye, it might not be so shocking, and it might not be so like, no, she didn't. I have to think about me. I used to produce this show called Passion and Poetry. And the first time I did it, I sold out this show. It was an erotic poetry show, and it talked about some of those things. I had to add shows each and every time. And one of the things that I heard after those shows is from grown men and women. It said that it gave them a sense of freedom. a sense of freedom to be more romantic, to try different things as couples and things. And I would push that in the evening. And so I think it's just a matter of we not being so afraid of some of the content that we need to share with our children, so that if it is heard and seen, then it doesn't look as bad as it looks when it is not shared. And I think as a culture, we just didn't do that. I mean, and I think that's the problem. You know, we needed to sit down across from the table and I didn't have that. So I'm only speaking.
You know what?
I didn't have it.
Joyce, I didn't either. And I might be maybe the oldest on this little group of ours. But without apology, I think it's deplorable. I think it's shameful. I think it's degrading. And forget being embarrassed. It's just a damn shame that we objectify ourselves in such a way. So, as a mom, and I'm a mother of 2 sons and a daughter, my husband and I we never unleashed them to listen to just anything. We never did it. And so we drew some lines and said, this is what is acceptable and this is what is not acceptable in our house. What you do, you can't watch you all the time.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the conversation. You had the conversation. And so when you see it, then you and your children and all that you had the conversation with can say, that's not cool. But I think, and unfortunately with them, they haven't had the conversation and they're just going on what they think is going to sell. That's it. Cardi B was a stripper, from Brooklyn or someplace up there. That girl don't know.
I'm gonna go last.
She's just selling music the way
y'all ain't ready.
You know what? My daughter, when I got,
but I don't particularly like it. Don't get me wrong. I don't particularly like it.
I don't know. Have you seen the video? Did you see the video?
I haven't seen the video. I'm in the industry.
I'm not. I can't. It's like it's not. I don't need. I've been with my husband forever, and I didn't need them to give me ideas. This is
but let me read this. Can I read this? This is from a name Roshana Ann Butler. It says, I think we have allowed too many people to define our sexuality, and it becomes uncomfortable when others are so bold about it. And I think that's what it is. I mean,
bold or raunchy.
Yeah. But think about how we limit ourselves in our conversation. Come on.
Yeah, Vicky, it's not even raunchy, it's ratchet. It's what it is. But so when the song came out, my goddaughter had asked me, had I heard the song? And she's 18. And I said no. So she said, I want you to hear the song. I think you need to hear the song. And I was like, why? And she was like, I just want you to hear the song. And I want to video you when you watch the song. Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, put the song on. So the song was the video. So she put the video on. And I'm looking at the video. And as things go on in the video, my body is just like, and so she's recorded all of this while I'm watching it. And then when it's over, she turns around, she said, what do you think? And I look at it, I was like, what you think I think? And she was like, what do you think about it? I said, it's trash. What do you mean what I think? And she was like, well, why do you think it's trash? And I was like, because of what they're talking about and how they are talking about it. I said, she's talking about the jiggly thing in the back of the throat. And I was like, so that is such a vivid picture of what she was painting. And I was like, and this is on the radio? And was like,
No, we
you gotta
believe
take some of the stuff out, but you know what it means. And so I told her, I said, so, tell me what you think about it. Let's talk about that. You tell me what you think about it. And, because that type of music is so prevalent, it was no big. She was like, I just think I said, does it makes you think about different things or if you're with a guy? So because everything I hear is that, she's supposed to, all this stuff she's supposed to do to him. And then she was like, well, I do have some friends who think, oh, I'm gonna do what so-and-so did in the video. And I said, see, that's my whole thing, because it is impressionable on people. And I said, and what I get, because one day I listened to that radio station for probably 2 hours, which was a long time. And I just listened to the song. And I said, let me just hear what's being said. And as I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, I just feel. So I asked her, I said, I just feel bad. I said, what songs in your generation talks about empowerment or talks about liberating? What songs? Because I had some in my generation. And I said, but what songs in your generation? What rapper is empowering? And she was like, well, that's the part that, yes, I get it's a different music and people do different things, but if that's the only thing that you're listening to and having, and I've learned a whole lot of lingo from just talking with her. She said, I told her me and my husband was going to Florida, and she said, what are you packing? I said, I'm getting sundresses. And she was like, what? And I was like, what? She was like, do you know what sundresses mean? I said, clearly it means something but than a dress that you wear in the sun. And she was like, look it up. I look up sundresses, and sundresses, the definition of I looked up the urban definition of sundresses. Is the way to get effed quicker is what a sundress is. I know it. Who thinks of this stuff? I said, well, she was like, so you're going to meet my godfather? I was like, yeah. And so it tickled them. Like, I'm going to text him and say, oh, she's wearing sundresses. He didn't know what it meant either. So,
right.
Wow.
It's just, the lingo is totally changed. And
Yeah, it's a different language. I didn't know what cut buddy was. I'm like, what you talking about?
You know what? That cut buddy is so old, Joy.
All I'm saying is the conversations had not been had. That's the thing. And unfortunately, they are taking it upon themselves from what they have seen, from what little bits and pieces that they hear, and thinking that this is what society wants. But when you do 1 million+ downloads in a day or two, it's unfortunate.
Well, do you think that they?
Well, here's let me jump in, E, if I can jump in real quick.
Jump.
Here's the thing. What I think. I think it's all about the level of your comfortability, and also it's about the level of people's sexuality, and those persons who are free in their sexuality. This does not bother them, nor does it offend them, nor do they think that it's raunchy or ratchet. And the truth of the matter is, it's no different than Betty Wright. It's no different than Marvin Gaye. It's no different than Beyonce talking about surfboarding her husband, and everybody trying to figure out what that position is. And it almost blew up Google, because people Google the surfboard position, but because people of certain generations did not know what surfboard was, it didn't bother them. The problem with WAP is very expressive. So there's words in the song and in the lyrics that certain people can identify with. And because of that, it bothers them, because one, you wouldn't dare say those words.
Y'all wouldn't.
People who say no, but people who do.
No.
But there are people who do, and they say in their own bedrooms. There are people who do, and they sit down with their friends.
Right.
And so you have, these people are artists. And artists, to me, can have expressions in any way that they want. My problem is this. Shame on anybody who allow an artist to raise their children.
There you go.
Shame on anybody who allow something that somebody does that does not live in their household, who don't have any kind of investment in raising, to be able to say Cardi B talking about WAP and talking about really what she's talking about is women taking ownership back of what men have been saying.
Yeah.
That's what the song is about. The song is not about I'm teaching you how to have sex. I'm teaching you how to move to do. That's not what it's about.
Girl, I don't know.
The song is basically about who playing music because somebody trying to
That's
get
the
it off.
Lord's phone.
It went off. Right?
Okay.
I said, is somebody playing WAP?
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
So I mean, so the thing is,
I'm 1000% with Dr.
But my thing is, I've been to poetry things, and I've heard people do poetry from a very same, completely raunchy, if you want to say, expressive place where they have expressed it through poetry. I've heard it, and my thing is, this is a generation that it's a surprise for you to hear it. But baby, they've been doing it before. You've been talking about, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. You're late to the party. You're very late to the party. And if you have not had conversations with your children, your girls, or whoever it is, then this ain't the first song by Cardi B that sounds like this. It's not the first song by Megan Thee Stallion. Hell, Beyonce did a song with Megan Thee Stallion. Mm-hmm. And the song was just blew up the chart, made millions and millions of dollars. Why would she make a song with Megan Thee Stallion? Because here is the thing. People are at the point where they're not letting men define what they can be and do as a woman. Whether you agree with it or not, it's fine. You don't have to, because everybody's from a different period. Everybody's from a different generation. People have different backgrounds. I don't think it take women back to no degree, because guess what? Lil' Kim did it. We didn't go back. Foxy Brown did it. We didn't go back.
Trina,
we didn't go back.
We didn't go back.
Even MC did it. So we're not going back. What we're doing is we have to understand that we're in a culture where women are free. And Cardi B, her background is what her background is. But guess what? Cardi B is one of the most political people out there as an artist. She is one that pushed the political platform. She just did a sit down with Joe Biden. She is one that pushes social justice. She encourages her followers to vote. So my thing is, if you're going to look at it, if you're just going to look at WAP, then you haven't listened to anything she's done. You haven't.
No, I can't hear you.
I have to catch.
But here it is. But here it is, Vicky. I get what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. But no slight to you. But why would your age group listen to it anyway?
Hello.
But you know what?
Right. You're going to be like you are.
You know what? But didn't you listen to Betty Wright when she was raunchy on stage and doing the things she did?
Hold up, the cleanup woman. Let me put her right here for a minute. Let me say this. When you say when different ones did it, we didn't go back. See, I disagree with you. I think what's wrong in our culture, I think what's wrong in society is we went back and we didn't see it happening. I think that we have gotten to the point where we call good evil and evil good. I think we have blurred these lines and we've given permission to it because of the freedom of expression. Now, when we were growing up, you had the free spirit with psychedelic drugs and free and walk around naked, hell, if you want to. But I'm just saying, it's an offense. It's an affront to me that a woman would feel like I can measure up against a man because I can get as nasty and filthy as he. And then while my children may not have watched it, we have a society of young women out here right now that have been socialized by this kind of debauchery. It is. And I don't make any apology for my generation. And I don't speak for my generation. I speak strictly for Vicky Turner. I'm so disappointed that our girls have this as a role model.
But Vicky, you also got to understand that there's a lot of girls that's been in bondage because of the fact that we have boxed them into how they have to be as a woman. We've also have thrown the Bible at them about how they should be as a wife, as a this, as a that. And you do not see that with men. You do not see that happen to them. And so a lot of women have been sitting in a lot of bondage and not being free from a whole lot of perspective. And let me just help you right
I
here.
think that's as a culture and as a whole. I think that's a culture as a whole. Men haven't been taught no more than what women, what girls have been taught.
Yeah.
And I think that's where this problem lie, is having the conversation, having the open conversation. So like Dr. Libby Baker said, that it doesn't, when you hear it, you'll have a different approach. I watched WAP one time. I had no desire to see it anymore.
I played it on my car.
I did it more.
You played it in your car. I played it in my car the other day. I have played it several times. I don't have a problem with none.
It's not because I couldn't handle
And
what
I
was
also
being
played
said.
everybody else.
Wait a minute. That I was interested in. I mean, I saw it and moved on. And I did not cringe the entire time I was sitting there listening to it, because I think we have to be a little bit more open. And I understand what Vicky is saying. I understand what everybody is saying. I think that just as a culture of people, we've been shunned to the conversation. And we have to have the conversation.
Let me say this. I mean, I'm good in my sexuality. I'm not ashamed of my sexuality. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Libby. And you know, people, their freedom in the artistry, that's good. I listened to it that one time too, and I don't need that. I hear that it is lifting women up. Okay, I like to be lifted in a totally different way. That's not the way I need to be lifted, and putting that inside. And so there are things that I just cut off from my ears and sometimes my eyes, because it's like I don't want to watch that. Just like scary movie, horror movies, I don't want to see nobody die, because that stays in my spirit. And I know me. I will think about that, dream about that. I have to fight that out of me. So I don't even let it come into my spirit. Yeah, I listen to WAP, heard it once, don't need to hear it again. And I think it how people every woman has the right to make a decision on and then how they what they listen to and what they enjoy. For me, that is not something I enjoy, because if I am going to lift and if I am going to empower, it just won't be that way. So I don't want it coming to me.
But I think that's the point I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I don't think that we personally can sit here and call it, well, I take that back. I don't think it's fair to call it degrading. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not. If you drink coffee, fine. But if you don't drink coffee and you just prefer to drink water, fine too. But I don't think that it's not room for both. And I don't think
it can be degrading for me and not degrading for you. It can be degrading for me.
But what
it's a choice.
Can I say something?
I've
been trying to say something. Hello. Mike, 1, 2, 3.
We're sorry.
What I've been trying to say is, I really think that the two of them missed a beautiful opportunity to really empower women.
They've been out forever, child.
They missed that opportunity. And let me say this, because I wrote down a line from their lyrics where it says, I said certified freak 7 days of the week. Now, here's the thing. If you're going to empower someone, if you're going to say, okay, I get out and I represent women, when I say they have set us back, I'm saying to the point that we have made so much traction.
Who designed to say that they represent women?
Wait a minute. We have made so much traction in wanting people, men, to look at us and take us serious, not just for our bodies, not just for our shapes. From the Me Too movement and on, we've made so much traction. And so I'm saying, yeah, you did have the Foxy Browns and Little Kim moments. You did have those things. But now we've turned the page where we have been, they said the future is female. It's right now. So we have turned the page where now we're in different spaces and our voices are being heard. Man, I mean, the fact that we have a Black woman that's a VP on the VP ticket, that's empowering. And then to have these young ladies come and make this music, which we call art, I mean, it is what it is. I'm saying they missed the opportunity to gravitate toward an audience to empower. Why didn't they come out with some empowering words that's uplifting? But they grinding on each other.
Alicia, listen to what you're saying.
And let me say this.
But I'm saying, you asking two people that's been rapping like this for years.
Let me say this. I am very confident in my sexuality, but I do believe that some things you should just be a lady about. And there are some things that comes across a little hoed. Now, in the song, it comes on. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes.
That's old.
I know it's old. That was an old school beat. I do remember it. What I'm saying is that there's some things that we should have graduated from. Where do we move on? And we move into a different direction where we're being valued about what we think. So when I show up to a meeting, you're not looking at my booty and my boobs. I'm invited to the table for my knowledge and what I know. Yes, I know Cardi B is out there on the political scene. I recognize and I appreciate that. But however, sugar, when you show up and you're sitting across the table from a man, he ain't thinking about what's coming out your mouth. He looking at you.
You thinking about what?
He's thinking about what he's
good. And guess what? Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. Because guess what? She got to the table. I don't care. This is my thing. You're asking two rappers who never did the things that you're listening. You're listening
exactly
to things that these rappers never.
One of the girls went to college.
What I'm saying, though, what I'm saying is that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. That you're asking a certain caliber of two ladies who've been rapping for some time, and this is you didn't say this about Moneybag. You didn't say this about the things they've already rapped about. Go back and listen to their CDs. They've been talking their songs. They've been talking like this. This is not anything new just because it's WAP. It's not anything new. They've been saying so much. Why would you want them to be in a category that you're trying to put them in to quote unquote represent females, to empower them? That's not who they are. And
I need some mentors because that's where
I disagree. I don't think
Libby, let her finish.
I think we're gonna all talk over each other because that's what we're having tonight.
You know what? I'm gonna get this in. Listen, we you know what, Libby, you saying at least they got to the table. I can't see it that way because you know how hard, you know how many lives were lost. You know how many shoulders they stand upon to get to the table, and they will come in representing us like that. I have a problem with it. I do.
First of all,
has been invested in our people to sell out for the largest selling albums and records just so you can get at the table, and all the man is looking at is the butt and the gut. Looking at the boobs and the butt,
and they're showing more than that.
And you're saying
but Vicky,
those guys are not listening to them. They said now somebody may take the money for a campaign, but they ain't listening to nothing coming out of their mouth.
But Vicky, the
platform, how will they be in that bed if they get an experience with them? Now,
Vicky, it's her platform. Her platform has pushed.
It's our children. It's our granddaughters. It's those that I'm concerned about, not women like you and me, us on this panel, who can make decisions for ourselves. What about them babies?
I got a 14-year-old niece who raps. My 14-year-old niece rap. She's in the studio just yesterday.
Like that.
But no, what I'm saying to you, I have a 14-year-old niece who's an artist. She's an actor and she raps. And trust me, my niece know what to watch and what not to watch. She know what to do and what not to do. She has to be in LA all the time around all types of things from the acting perspective and from the rapping perspective. So I get where you're going and I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that if their platform is of such, and that's what they've been doing, and that's how they came out, it's the same thing when Lil' Kim came out. It was the same discussion.
Didn't like her.
It was what I'm saying. It was the same kind of discussion. And Joyce can agree to say that. It was the same kind of thing.
I mean, and it's just a industry, and these women are in that industry doing what they do. And it, you know, I agree with everybody on here when it comes to mentoring and when it comes to what it is showing young women and all of these things, but they are looking at it from a dollar and cents standpoint. And Alicia, if someone went in the room and told both of them, you all have 1 million people at your hands that you can empower right now.
Right.
You know, right now, if you got these people and in that same conversation, they're going to say, if you choose to sing about this, then you're going to lose 999,000 of them. But if you stay on the platform that you've been doing, unfortunately, it's not to the liking of women like us and who it is impressing, then it's a misfortune there. But these women are just doing their business, and that business is who they are and what they are singing.
I agree.
Fortune.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's who they are. That's who they are.
And
it's who they are. It's what they do.
Again, all of that. And you on the other hand gotta be there to talk about situations like this. So in your next empowerment, then you need to grab a bunch of young women and bring them in the room, play WAP, and say, this ain't what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what has to happen with it, because women are living a life that they had never lived before in their lives.
And that's good. The question was
that's what's getting them there. So it's a misfortune that they are living a life and enjoying what they have been unfortunately talented and blessed to do, and it's hard to tell them you're wrong, because
that means they sold their souls. You know, they sold their.
I just think that this is what they did.
Some people say we sold our souls too.
Yeah,
so I mean, we've always been. You know, just because you may do stuff behind the closed doors and don't do it openly, don't mean that people can't say the same. So I think we got to be careful when we say that, because it's up front and it's out there. There are some things we've all done that if people was to open that door and show up the skeleton in our closet, they may say the same thing. So I think we have to be careful when we say somebody sold their soul, because you don't know them and you don't know what they've done. We don't have to agree. And I think the good thing about this is that it does start the conversations on both sides of the fence.
Yeah, it does.
Well, I think if we're going to put in content that the reason why that they continue to make this music is because they're able to make money, is no different than when we hold. We had another conversation where we held politicians to the same expectation that, okay, you get in on this level and then you switch when you get over because it benefits your pocket.
That's an opinion.
But they've been doing that. They have an opinion.
Right. I'm saying you're selling your soul, you're selling your body, you're selling your womanhood for dollars and cents. Yep. Period.
Hey, they like it.
Okay, my time. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Erica said on Andrea, y'all need to change this subject because y'all too heated.
Y'all need to change this, baby. This is some good tea, baby. This is good tea.
The question when it started was, do you think that based on the song, was it objectifying women? Okay, everybody has a different opinion. And it doesn't mean one opinion is yours is right and mine is wrong. It means that's where we are based on what our background has been. So the ladies can sing whatever they want to sing. We just choose whether we listen to it or not. So they can do whatever they want to do, but from my perspective of just listening to it, I just think it detracts from women in general. That's my belief. That's what I think about it, that it takes away from women when we're talking about trying not only sitting at the table, but then have to sit at the table and then fight the sexual things that come up at the table. And what that does is just affects the other people on the other side thinking, no, I don't look like them, I don't act like them, but because they think that type of stuff goes on in our culture, then that must be what we think. That's the stuff that I think, wow, you already got to go and try and be better. You got to work harder. You got to do more. This just adds to that to me, but they can do whatever they want to do. I don't care. I won't listen to it. It ain't something that I'm afraid of with my sexuality. I actually told my husband when the song came out, he listened to it. We both was like, oh, that's crazy. And I was like, baby, I'm the WAP though, right? And we laughed about it. We laughed about it. So I can get what they're saying, but I'm not going to go in public and say that to people or have that conversation. I just not going to do it. So
yeah. Then that's fair. Yeah, and I get it.
I mean, it's all choice.
Yeah. And one thing Libby said is, if people peek behind the doors in our rooms or our spaces, they may find something offensive or whatever. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because we all fall short daily. We do. However, I was raised in such a way to keep my stuff in my house. Whatever, like Becky, you have your little, you stay with your husband. I'm very comfortable in my sexuality and how I express it and feel good about that. But I just keep it in the confines of my home.
You ain't been a peek in my door.
Hey, that's not
ways to put it out there like that.
I get it. I get it.
And before we go, I didn't just start feeling this way with the pop song. I felt like that years ago. I've been like this all the time. I've remained consistent. When you all told me what we were going to speak on, I asked my daughter. My daughter's 35. I said, "Tell me what this is." She said, "Mom, 35. I don't think you want to go there, Mom." She said, and so I said, "Pull it out. Let's look at the lyrics." She said, "It's too embarrassing for me to even speak this." I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful. I'm not saying she does everything perfect. She know what to do in front of her parents, but I was glad that she was embarrassed. They said, "Now, here." She gave me back the phone. Here, you look at it. This is embarrassing. And so I'm just looking at, I want to leave the world, and I'm gonna be quiet. The whole goal of living at this stage in my life is to leave things better than I found them. And I just feel like, what are we doing? And somebody even came on the chat and said, we're allowing people to raise our children, to create those images in our children that we have neglected to do. Maybe there's a lot of truth to that, but I can't. I was disappointed when I read that, and I said, "We gonna talk about this trash?" Just telling you.
Well, before we end the call, Vicky, let's talk about some ladies of class real quick. Can I throw that in there? Yes. Okay, so there's two ladies that's supposed to be on the Versus on Sunday, September 15th, right? Whatever Sunday's date is, and that is Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. So, which one?
If only you knew.
Wigs and heels, baby. Wigs and heels.
How much I do
Gladys.
love you.
I'm a Gladys fan.
Oh, Gladys.
I like both of them. I'm going to be there jamming for both. I mean, they're classic ladies. Both of them got their styles, and I'm just waiting for the moment.
I am.
Me too.
Yeah, I
I
can't
might pull out my wigs and my heels, hiding for back. This
come out of them heels quick now. When Patty,
She did.
but she show up. She show up with them.
Right. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
And those are women of class. And matter of fact, I saw a video on Instagram when they were performing with Dionne Warwick on Oprah, and they were singing "I'm Not Your Superwoman." They all had on stockings.
Exactly.
They were performing in stockings.
That'll be a
That was
no
a long
ma'am.
time ago.
That'll be a no ma'am.
White.
That'll be a no ma'am. That'll be a no ma'am.
Well, they're two bad sisters, though. I mean,
Yes.
they're vocally bad, and I think that's the lesson that these young ones that we've been talking about need to know. That when WAP dies, it's gone. When I tell you, it will never come back.
You're right.
When it dies. So they're trying to get every little coin they can get off it now because it will never be heard again. The lesson to learn from the Gladyses and the Patties is that if they never make another song again, they will always make money because those songs will be played forever and ever and ever. And that's the lesson that these young ones need to know, is that 10 years from now, will your song be worth hearing?
Yes.
And 9 times out of 10, having been in the industry for as long as I have, that will be a no.
That's right. That's
And
right.
they got to make their money off of these songs right now. Because 10 years from now, your grandchildren, your children don't want to hear them. But you can ride in the car playing Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle tomorrow with them young folks, and they'll sit back around. Some of their friends one day, that song might pop up and say, you know what, my mom and my grandmama used to love
My
that.
grandmama used
And
to
I
play
love that song. And that's the misfortune of
of
music
this generation.
now and music of yesterday.
That's it.
That's
That's
the
it.
misfortune, because Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight about to put it down and show these youngsters what's
Come on, put it
it's
down.
about.
And do y'all think it's gonna be like for Monica and Brandy? It was 1.2 million, which was the largest versus. Do y'all think it'll be more?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think I don't think the age group that will follow them are Instagram savvy enough.
Yeah.
And like we were talking, my sisters and I were talking, and they're not on it, and that's where it's coming from. Now, if they put it on Facebook, then everybody's going to be on it. But the majority of their age group are not.
That's true. That's true.
And that's the only thing. That's the only thing that's gonna kill it. Being on Instagram.
They asked for my credit card. I'm like, no.
Vicky, do you have Instagram?
It's the one.
Exactly.
Oh, Jesus.
Kill them.
Come on, Jesus.
Bad, Vicky. Libby had to give me a school. I was like, Libby, they're just listening to music. I'm confused.
I'm so done with the youngest person in this group. This one right here is like, see, I don't understand her. She do all of this. I'm like, please, you got young. We got to talk off this. I got to get you to come up to
Alicia, I was with you.
Unless Vicky come on Instagram. Dolores, are you on Instagram? No.
Well, I was told.
And here Zelda Davis Underwood said, Insta what? That's the thing that's gonna kill it. Is because you people.
Hey, I do have an Instagram. I am on Instagram.
You know what? Like,
I think somewhere they may have it on Facebook.
we hope.
But even on Facebook,
Yeah, that's where it needs to go for them to hit that million.
Absolutely.
If
You're right, Joyce.
Facebook, they'll hit a million. But
You're
if
right,
they
Joyce.
straight Instagram,
I was trying to figure out. I heard about TikTok, right?
I don't even know about
I thought TikTok was the clock. TikTok.
you know what? Vicky, Vicky, come close. Come close, Vicky. Vicky, come close. I got to lay hands on you. Come close, Vicky. Vicky, you got Vicky. You got to lay hands on me about what? I got to lay hands on you about the hands on you.
Well, you know, thank you so much for joining us tonight at the Grown Folks Table. If you don't have Instagram, please go and download it. Versus on Sunday.
So we can help them make $1 million.
Yes, we can help them make $1 million. Please subscribe to our podcast. We're on all podcast channels, and pull up to the table again. We would love to have you at our table. Thank you for joining us tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye. Get Instagram, Vicky. Get Instagram, Dolores. Get it.
Get your friends to get it in Jesus' name.
Do it. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
So the seasoned artists can make $1 million.
We need their help.
They're gonna have 100,000 on. That's it.
I'm gonna end up.
But I think we don't be working on songs.
Get your wigs and your heels, y'all. Just get ready.
Hello.
Carry on. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Love y'all.
Love you.